Hello, how are you all doing? This is Kenya again, and today I'll be talking about Git. In fact, I didn't plan on making a video about Git, but based on the demand and some other stuff, so I felt it would be necessary for us to have a simple video on Git and GitHub. Now, those two things are different, but they're a little bit synonymous. Git is a version control system, as we all know. It helps us manage different versions of a particular app or solution on our device. You can use Git locally and you still have your project private. It doesn't mean that using Git means your project is always open source. So it just helps us with version control. What version control means is, as you're working on an app, you will have stages or improvement, new features you like to add in, things you like to take to production, and so on and so forth. And yet you don't want to lose track of everything that you have done before now. So you can break it and have different versions. So that in most cases, if one version fails, maybe you're trying to run it to production with a very new feature and somehow it breaks down, you can always fall back to the older version that you have that is stable, because when introducing new features we have to test and do a lot of things. Let me not bore you with all of that talk. So Git was created by one of our legendary guys in the field of computer engineering and computer science, Stoward. He created Git and it's a very, very awesome platform. So to download it, you can actually, if you're on terminal and you like terminal stuff, you can just do um, sudo apt install if you're on Linux or Mac. On Windows, you have to definitely visit here and download the exe file and double click it to install. If you're on Mac or other ones, you can also download it here if you want to do it that way. If you're a little bit confused, I recommend you use an AI tool and tell it exactly what your problem is. It will help you out. We have a lot of AI tools now helping even in the world of development, and some developers now do a lot of vibe coding. That's a matter we'll talk about another day. But I love it when developers get their fundamentals right. That's why we have not yet dived into using a whole lot of AI tools out there that make work very simple. Because as they make work very simple, sometimes it's also important you know exactly what they are doing before they land you in trouble. Yeah, that's all I think about GitHub. Now, about Git, sorry, please pardon me. Now, GitHub, on the other hand, is a full web platform that houses a lot of repositories, a lot of projects with Git. What I'm trying to say in essence is if you have Git locally and you kind of want to push your code to the cloud, that's to make your code remote so that you can access it from any laptop, from anywhere in the world in case your system gets bad. You can actually send your code to GitHub, right? Using Git commands on your local PC. So you see, two of them kind of work hand in hand, but they are two different things. Apart from GitHub, we have all the areas where you can create repos and share code and collab with people, like Gitbucket. Yeah, I think Gitbucket is another very popular option, and there are a lot more options out there. And a lot of people are building, but these two I think are very, very popular. Okay, so you just git clone, you clone up the project, you git push, and you git pull it. These are, I think, the three most fundamental commands when using Git and GitHub. We're going to try them. So the GitHub platform looks like this. This is my profile. You can see I'm a little bit active, my followers and everything. Um, these are my repositories I have created. Let me take you to my repositories. Uh, yep, here's my repositories I've created. For the sake of this tutorial, I'll be creating one very simple repository, and I will be sharing some few stuff with us. I'm just going to go ahead and create something very, very simple. I'll play around, write some code, and you see me use some git commands to push it to the cloud. Okay, so we're waiting for this to load, and our projects can be Python, Colab. I created the first one. I discovered that the audio wasn't recording, so I ended up just speaking to myself. Okay, that's not a bad name. Yeah, so now and also another thing, another misconception that people have is they feel that everything on GitHub is public. Not everything on GitHub is public. Some projects are actually private. You can actually select if you want your project to be public or private. Now, if you intend to make an open source project, you should actually make it public so that a lot of people can see all your lines of code, and they can actually adjust and make pull requests and all of that. Usually, when we share code, it doesn't mean we are sharing secrets. There's a big difference between sharing code and sharing secrets. So even if your project is public, it does not mean that you won't make money from it. It does not mean that. So you just need to know if you are supposed to open source a project or if you are not. It will help you because some projects are meant to be open source, especially when you feel that is a project that you can't solve alone and it needs a lot of community effort. But if you have a project that works based on secrets and you feel that the secrets, a lot of those coding secrets will be like your selling points, there's no need going open source. Yeah. So, and there are projects, there are companies that actually love to fund open source stuff, and there are some others that don't. So it depends. Yeah, all of these things are um, they are interesting, so you have to weigh everything and understand exactly what you are doing. So I'll add a README here. I'm going to add like license. Now the license tells us viewing your code how we're supposed to interact with your code. With different licenses, most open source projects use the MIT kind of license or the Apache 2, which of course are very good. Uh, they are very good license systems, especially if you want to open up your code for a lot of people. So since this is a community kind of project, I choose the MIT. It's kind of open source because I just want everybody to see and enjoy what we are doing here. So I'm going to copy this. As you can see, our project has been created. We have just two files, license. I'm going to take this to VS Code. I'm going under this particular folder, and after doing this, I'm opening it up in my terminal. I will git clone. Sorry, caps lock is on. I'll git clone this particular repository I have created. You can see it up here, and you can see the two files, the license and the store. I'm going to create a folder here, and I'm going to call it my solution or contribution. Contribution to this mini kind of project, and I'm going to create a file and I'll call it end.py, and I'll say um, so I'm just going to give us a little problem here, and I'm just going to solve it real quick. Say we want to write a simple Python program that gets input from the user and multiplies the number it gets. So I'm just going to do something like let the number be equal to the input, and I'll prompt the user to enter the number. And at this point I'm going to just print it out, num times 2, and I'm going to save. I'll hit run right here, and the number is 5 and 55. That's wrong because we actually want to multiply by 2. 5 times 5 5 times 2 is supposed to be 10, not 55. What's happening here is concatenation, because remember, the number comes in as string and not as integer. So after this conversion, concatenation is meant not to happen again, and we have 10. That's very good. So we have solved that problem. What we need to do now is push these new adjustments we have done to the cloud, so that maybe if we are collaborating with somebody, you can see our new code. So how do we push this? Now, there are three steps you need to understand. The first one is you have to stage the changes you have made. You need to commit. The commit tells the person, it's like a simple comment about the changes you have made. And the last one, git push, is like saying, come on, go to the server, and it goes to the server. Now, you can do it the technical way using the terminal, or you can just go here, and as you can see here, you just use this plus sign to stage all changes. After you've done this, you will write some text here and click on commit, and immediately after the commit, the push button comes up and you can push. But I'm going to do it in a much more fun way, or should I say a little bit more technical way. So I'm going to open this on my terminal, and the first thing I want to do after definitely saving that file is git add, or that's to say I'm staging all of the recent changes, and I'll git commit by using this. In fact, when you use the GUI, this similar stuff happens in the background. So I'm just going to drop a little comment. Um, and I'm going to save this, and finally I'll git push to the origin of main. Now you may be asking yourself, why are we using the origin of main? So let me redo this so that you get some details. So we're just going to run this command git remote, and you can see here that we're in the origin. The origin here is our project, right? This is the git project we are on. And how do we know the branch to use? When you just type branch, you should see we're in the main branch. So another thing that people used to do is they can create different branches. Your friend has a different branch, I have a different branch. We are solving the same problem. At the end of the day, we weigh the different branches to see the one that works. In most cases, these contributors can also make a pull request to the protected part of the code if it's a very, very big open source project. Alright, so we will do our git push to our remote session, that's the origin, and then main. Don't worry, it's always like this. Git push origin main is like, it's always like this. It's not like you have to change it. My battery is getting low, so I will have to summarize. Yes, some people are asking where I'm from. I'm in Nigeria. So you know why I have power issues. But on the other side, let's go. Git push main, and that does the magic. It's not done, but I know it will. So I'm just going to refresh here. And if I refresh here, you should see the recent work I've done here on my GitHub live. Exactly. So see the contribution folder here. And if you click it, you should see the end of py. That's the new Python file I've worked on. And people can actually, so now the interesting thing about this project is, for those of us that don't get what I'm doing here, this project here, this side of the code is on my PC, it's local, right? But with these few commands, I've been able to push this code to the cloud. That implies that even if I lose this my local PC, this one I'm working on here right now, I still have all of these things here now saved to the cloud. Another important thing is I can share this with a friend. We can work together, we can collaborate, we can create an open source project about Python solutions and so on and so forth. So that's the entire idea on how GitHub works. My friend used to say, if you want to learn GitHub, just learn the three basic commands: git clone, git push, and git pull. Git pull is for you to get back. So maybe your friend worked on something and you pushed and you want to get it, you git pull, and the way you git pull, everything is coming same way. So those three commands for a start does a whole lot of magic. So if I see you next time, I'm Kenyo, and do have a good day. Yeah, I hope I'm not missing anything. Yeah, bye for now. Thank you.